I made $14,000 in just 2 days with only 3 trades. In today's video, we're going to discuss the details of those trades. I'm going to be sharing with y'all my entries, my exits, and most importantly, the reason why I took those trades to begin with, just to help out some of y'all who may be new to trading. Now, let's dive into the charts right off the bat. The very first trade that I took, again, these trades, at least the first 2 trades, was between Thursday and Friday. And the very first one was on Hood. And the reason why I took a trade on Hood is because of the 1 hour time frame. If you look closely, there is a structure on there. It's not my favorite, but it was there on Thursday. There is this bullish triangle on the chart that broke out in the morning and then went all the way up to 112, faded in the middle of the day back down to 109. It didn't close really strong. The reason why I like this one so much is because of how it held above a previous level of support right here. Y'all see that, right? A break above resistance, and then that resistance became support in the closing minutes. I saw that, so I decided to buy calls on there. I saw the retest and I decided to buy calls on there. So let's go into here. This is what happened between Thursday and Friday. This is August 7th. I bought the $115 strike, the calls that expired on the 8th. I bought 25 contracts for a total cost of $1,075. Each of them $43 in the final minutes of the trading session right there. And then I ended up selling all of it all at once, 38 minutes after the market opened the next day, at 9:08 for $4,275. Now let's go back here. So my entry on this one, again, y'all know my style. For those of you who've been in the Discord, you know how I like to trade. I like to buy in the very last minute, the very last candle, right here at 111. I had a price targets of, again, this is the Discord. At the time, this is from the 7th. I had a price target of 120. All right. And fortunately, yes, it climbed. Unfortunately, it didn't get to 120 like I would have liked. It climbed in the morning. It kept climbing all the way up to 115. And then once it broke through 116, and it started to look a little bit weak. So this is each of the individual candles. It started to get a little bit weak right here. So I decided to just sell everything all at once because I was happy with it. And also the NASDAQ and the SPY was looking kind of sus. So I figured, why not just take all my money and just leave this one alone. So that's the first trade. The amount of profit on this one was 3.2 grand. Now the next trade that I took was actually at the same time that I bought Hood, and that trade was on Apple once again. All right, and in the last video I shared with you guys, it was one of the trades that I took between the 6 and the 7. I ended up buying again for the same reason, that bullish rectangle on the charts. I was pretty certain about the continuation the next day, and before I even took the trade that made me money, there is this thing right here, right? So this is what I was waiting for throughout the entire day, an ascending triangle on the chart, which is very similar to the ascending triangle from that NVDA trade in the last video. Again, I'm gonna pin it at the top, that way y'all can go see it and check it out. So similar setup, similar thing, and I decided to buy right here, right at the breakout at 220.40 cents, and just to take a loss on the way back down. Let me show y'all. So this is Apple. This is the Apple history. So this is what at 1:54 p.m. about the 222.5 calls that expired on Friday. All right, for around 4,150, and each of them $83, 50 contracts. And then right here, this is when I sold them for a like $500 loss, or $400 loss. Right here, 8 minutes later at 2:02, right when it went back down. All right, but the reason why I got it back initially I wanted to get it back at the close. I wanted to buy it at the close for the first time. But when I see these things, again, I have to buy it. Like, if it tells me to buy, I buy, and I live with the consequences later. It became really, really sloppy. Like, this structure became really, really sloppy. But the thing that I had in mind was the bigger picture. And the bigger picture, the price target on that one was like 225 at least. So I ended up getting back Apple at like 257 right here, right after a bounce off of 219.5. Let's go back into Robinhood. So yeah, I bought 50 contracts at 257 for $8,000, and then I ended up selling all of my contracts 43 minutes after the market opens for $10,300. I was kind of mad because, again, I told you before, my price target on it was 225. So I was kind of mad about this, very pissed, because I missed out on this entire move right here. I ended up selling right there with the hopes that Apple would do absolutely nothing throughout the entire day so that I can get it back at the close for the big push to 230 on Monday, right? Unfortunately, this thing, like, it just kept grinding upwards. It popped out here. Then I had to leave the office for like an hour, and I missed this entire move. Like, a lot of the people in the Discord ended up catching it. So let me show y'all. So this is the Discord. This is what happened. That was the loss right here. Very, very mad about that. And then let's go down here. That was the hood trade and the reasons why I wanted to get hood. And then let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah, that was my sell on hood right here. And this is it right here at 9:31. Right when it broke through, I left the office and missed out on so many gains. Very, very mad. Which is unfortunate for me. But for everybody else in the Discord, a lot of people ended up making a lot of money on this trade. Shout out to a few of our members. One of them, this lady ended up making 52 grand on not just Apple, but Apple, Tesla, and Google on that specific day. Somebody else ended up making around 21,000 on that specific day, on that Friday. But their total P&L for that specific position, which they bought a while ago and started paying off last week on Friday, total profits 41,000. So shout out to these two traders and shout out to everybody else. It was a good week. It was a solid week for us. Now, that's for the Apple trade. The next trade that I took between Friday and today, Monday, was on Tesla. All right. And this one I didn't screw up like Apple. All right. This one I did not screw up at all. So I took a trade on Tesla because of this. If you look at Tesla, the 4-hour time frame, there is a very clear and simple bullish pennant on there. Very clean, exquisitely clean, right there. All right. And it broke out on Friday. I missed the initial breakout because I was managing other positions like Hood and Apple. So I missed this thing, which is okay, which is all right. I gave out a warning anyways about this thing potentially breaking out, especially because of the day before of how it closed above 221. I gave out a warning about that it was going to take off, and it did take off. And even though I missed the entry here, I ended up getting it right here at the very last minute. So let's go back to Robinhood and let's look at the Tesla history. So this is Tesla, and this is on August 8th. I bought the $340 strike, the contracts that expired on Friday the 15th. 20 contracts for a total of $8,053. Right at 257. 3 minutes before the market closed, and I ended up selling them today. I sold half of them for $8.30. Total cost, there it is. Yeah, so I ended up selling half for $8,300 right 1 minute after the market opened, because there was a huge spike And then I ended up selling the other half for $8,180 3 minutes later. So the total trade took about like 5 minutes in total. The entry right there in this candle right above 329, and then the exits was right, let me change it to the 1 minute, that way we can see more candles. There it is. All right, the exit was right in here at 831 after it broke through 340, and then the next exit was right here after the retest of 340. All right there, making a total profit on this one 100%. I missed out on, like, there was some more money left to be made, but I didn't feel too bad about missing out on this thing right here. I didn't feel too bad. Now, a lot of y'all probably have questions about Tesla, about where it's gonna go, and I'm still bullish on it. I am still bullish on it. I have calls on it. I went back in. Yes, I went back in. So I think Tesla still has room. Tomorrow there's going to be CPI. The expectation is going to be around like what? The expected 2.7%. So if it turns out cooler than expected, then we can expect tech to start running. And we can expect Tesla to really, really push. Maybe open up at like 243 and then break above that previous high that I left today, Monday. Break above that and go straight for 350. So that's my thoughts on all of these stocks. That is the recap, and that is the end of the video. Again, if you have questions, definitely drop them in the comment section of the video. All right, don't be afraid. Drop them in. I do see them and I do read them and I do answer to some of them. So drop them in the comment section of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. To be part of a private Discord community where you can get all of this information in real time as I see them, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Patternology at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on X. And lastly, to get some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.